Everybody ready? Good evening. Welcome to the March 9th, 2020 meeting of the Shawnee City Council. I'd ask you to please silence your electronic devices at this time. I'm Mayor Michelle Disler. I'll be chairing this meeting. I'll do a roll call at this time. Councilmember Thomas. Present. Councilmember Zimmerman.
Present.
Councilmember Jenkins.
Present.
Councilmember Kimling.
Present.
Councilmember Larson-Manel. Present. Councilmember Knappen.
Present.
Councilmember Constance is absent, and Councilmember Chalfie is absent. Thank you. Please stand to join us for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next, I'll explain our procedures for public input. During the meeting, I'll offer the opportunity for public input. If you'd like to speak to the council at any of those times, please come forward to the microphone. I'll ask you to state your name and address for the record, and then you may offer your comments. So that members of the audience can hear your comments, I would ask that you speak directly into the microphone. By policy, comments are limited to 5 minutes. No person may speak more than twice to any one agenda item. Only comments related to city business are permitted. Comments and remarks that are personal, impertinent, or slanderous are not permitted. Disruptive acts are not permitted. In order to conduct an orderly, efficient, effective, and dignified meeting, individuals who do not limit their comments to the business or affairs of the city or who to resort to insults, name-calling, etc., will be directed to cease and conclude their public comments. After you're finished, please sign the form on the podium to ensure we have an accurate record of your name and address. In addition, while we won't do a roll call vote on every vote, I will state council members' names who vote minority, so our listening audience will have a clear and accurate record of the vote. Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Does anyone have an item they'd like to remove from the consent agenda? Seeing none, I'll accept a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Move to approve.
Second. Motion's been made, seconded on this item. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is mayor's items. So can I please have Police Chief Rob Moser come forward and stand in front of everyone?
This part right here?
After nearly 3 decades of service to Shawnee, tonight is Chief Rob Moser's very last City Council meeting. Now, Rob, we know you're going to miss your Monday nights with us, but you have finally earned the right to have them off. I want to take a few moments to recognize Rob and his honorable career with the Shawnee Police Department. He started as a Shawnee police officer in 1992. To put that in perspective, it was when the movie The Bodyguard came out. George H.W. Bush was president, and a gallon of gas was about $1.05. Throughout his career, Rob has served in various capacities and in all divisions of the police department with an emphasis on criminal interdiction, tactical operations, and professional standards. Rob was promoted to the ranks of sergeant in 1997, lieutenant in 2001, captain in 2007, and deputy chief in 2011, where he served until his appointment to chief of police in May of 2015. Rob lives and breathes the Shawnee Police Department's mission statement of serving the community with purpose and care. He paved the way and put the right people in place to help the department achieve accreditation in 2019. In fact, during the hearing for the award, Senior Commissioner noted Shawnee's final report as being the best he had ever seen. Before starting his career with the Shawnee Police Department, Rob earned a Bachelor of Science Education from the University of Central Missouri. In 2006, he graduated from UCM with a master's degree in Criminal Justice Administration. Rob is a 2007 graduate of the 230th session of the FBI National Academy and a 2014 graduate of the Shawnee Tomorrow Leadership Program. He has been a resident of Shawnee since 1992 and past president of the Shawnee Rotary Club. No matter how you look at it, Rob is a leader in Shawnee. He's not only a leader in the police department, but for the entire city. We're going to miss his guidance and his humor and his lack of ability to smile during a picture, but we know Rob's dedication. We know Rob's dedication to Shawnee will continue even after he ends his daily drives to 5850 Renner Road. Thank you, Rob, for all you have done for Shawnee. We wish you the best as you prepare to have more time to spend with your family and taking it easy for once. And you can still feel free to join us here on Monday nights with your newfound free time if you'd like. So, thank you.
I just did that so they all had to wash their hands.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, pass it around.
The next item is business from the floor. Is there anyone who has comments on an issue that is not on tonight's agenda? Seeing none, next item is public items. Item number 1 is to consider the identification of surplus property located at 20523 West 71st Street. The governing body authorized the purchase of the property on December 9, 2019. Per policy statement 69, disposal of real property, the surplus property staff committee is recommending identifying the property as surplus property, authorizing the sale of the property through a real estate agent, and approving disposition restrictions on the property. Assistant City Manager Caitlin Gard will make a presentation. Welcome, Caitlin.
Good evening. I'm going to make this really long so Rob has to be here all night long. Well, he didn't even hear that.
You have 3 minutes.
I'll be quicker. So tonight we're going to talk about the property located at 20523 West 71st Street, a map of which is located in your packet, and the disposal of that property, in addition to how we obtained it, and a little bit of background on it as well. So per policy statement 69, disposal of real property, the governing body has set an outline for staff as to how to dispose of property owned by the city, and specifically property that is no longer essential for present or future needs. And in that policy statement, it requires the city manager to establish a committee for the disposal of that property. So you can see the committee as listed below, many of which are here tonight. If you have additional questions, hopefully I can answer them for you too. The property is at the corner of 71st and Martindale in Ward 4. The parcel's general size is about 2.06 acres. The property was acquired in 2019 by the governing body for the future expansion of Carson Street to connect into 71st. You'll see on a later slide that this is in our comprehensive plan and also our circulation plan. So as this property came up for sale, the governing body decided to purchase this property for the expansion of Carson Street in the future. I will say that Carson Street is not on the capital improvement plan, so there are no current plans to have the street go through, but if in the future the governing body wants to discuss that project or potentially put it on the capital improvement plan, we're a few steps closer to doing so because we now own the property. But the right-of-way for the property will be just over ½ acre. And in addition to that, the rest of the land will be sold to a developer, potentially it's all zoned residential, so it would be residential development. We've had a number of conversations with the Brittany Ridge Homeowners Association as to kind of how they'd like to see that developed in the future once the property is sold. The funds that were used to acquire the property and then also the proceeds of any sale will just go into our general fund in hopes to help supplement the cost of the extension of Carson Street once that ever is to occur, if that's the wish of the governing body. So here is the circulation plan of the area. The lot is located at the Blue Star, but Martindale/Carson Street is planned to be a major collector per our circulation plan, so we acquired this property in hopes to extend that. We have shared this plan with the adjacent property owners, shared all this information with them, but at full build-out or near full build-out, it will be a major collector to connect Shawnee Mission Parkway south to any future residential development that there shall be. The staff and the committee is hoping that the governing body will put some restrictions on the disposal of this property. The first one is at purchase of sale, the buyer will dedicate the right-of-way necessary for the city to develop Carson Street, so that just over ½ acre would be dedicated right-of-way to the city. Because of the classification of Carson Street in the future, no access onto the future parcel or future parcels. If it were to ever develop, we would not allow access from Carson Street. We would require it to be from 71st or from Martindale. After a meeting with the Brittany Ridge Homeowners Association, it was apparent that they weren't 100% thrilled that this was a major collector street, but they do understand kind of the process of a growing city. So they did have a few recommendations that staff thought were appropriate. The first would be first right of refusal for any development of that property just to allow the homeowners association to potentially incorporate those lots into their subdivision. That would be something that the homeowners association could do. And in addition to that, the vacant tract of land just to the south of any property to develop, because we won't allow any access off of Carson Street, it really would be inaccessible if that property was to develop into more than one lot. So we would require whoever purchased the property to dedicate that open space to the Brittany Ridge Homeowners Association. It's just over a quarter of an acre. So with that, the policy statement outlines how staff can dispose of property. Those methods are either through negotiated sale, public auction, sealed bid, or any other method that the governing body authorizes. Staff is recommending that the sale be through negotiated sale with a real estate agent who will determine the fair market value of the property once it is surveyed and the land is appropriately sized. And then, as I stated, any proceeds of the sale would go towards the future extension of Carson Street. So with that, staff recommends that the governing body identify this property as surplus property and dispose of it with the recommended restrictions. Are there any questions?
Anybody have any questions or comments?
One, just to clarify. Oh, I'm sorry. Just to clarify, so the first right of refusal would go to the homeowners
Association.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? Anyone from the audience like to speak to this item? Seeing none, the recommended action is to consider identifying the property located at 20523 West 71st Street as surplus property, approving the disposition of the property by negotiated sale with the real estate agent, incorporating the recommended restrictions by the surplus property staff committee. I will accept a motion.
Move to approve.
Second. Motion's been made, seconded on this item. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is from the Planning Commission meeting of February 19, 2020. Item number 1 is to consider ordinance number 3318, PUD 12002, rezoning from residential suburban to plan unit development mixed residential, a preliminary development plan for the enclave of Mill Creek, townhome project located at 15620 Midland Drive. Planning Commission recommended 9-0, governing body approved the rezoning. Recommended action is to consider passing ordinance number 3318. Does anyone on the council have any questions? Anyone from the audience like to speak to this item? I'll accept a motion. Yes, Mr. Jenkins.
Not really a question, just a comment. I know I was talking with Stephen before the meeting on it to clarify, but it appears in this case that the city is going to collect an excise tax on this development. And I know we've had a lot of discussion in the council about eliminating the excise tax because we never use it. Usually it's, they make road improvements, whatever, to offset it. It's really beneficial to us to go with that rather than the excise tax. We just wanted to let everybody know we actually are using it this time, so maybe we still need it. Just passing it on. Thank you.
Mark Silsdorf, City Planning staff. The property is subject to the excise tax, but as with the other residential projects, we would enter into a developer's agreement with them to abate the excise tax like we have on several projects. So I don't know, that might not have been clear in the report, but
We're actually going to collect excise tax. First time that I see this.
as other projects, we would be entering into a developer's agreement if that was the wish of the governing body.
Thank you. Okay, I will accept a motion.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion's been made, seconded on this item. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next item is staff items. Item number 1 is to consider contract number 2020-015 with Confluence for design services for Wilder Bluff. On October 28, 2019, governing body approved the contract for the master plan and conceptual drawings for Wilder Bluff. The next step is to begin the design phase and the development of a guaranteed maximum price. Staff is recommending Confluence for the design services in the amount of $337,650. The final design and GMP will be brought back to the governing body for consideration once it's complete. Recommended action is to consider approving and authorizing the mayor to sign the contract as approved by the city attorney. Does anyone on the council have any questions? Anyone from the audience like to speak to this item? Seeing none, I'll accept a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made, seconded on this item. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes. Item number 2 is to consider contract numbers 2020-016, 2020-17, project agreements with the Kansas Department of Transportation for improvements to 43rd Street and K7 Highway in conjunction with Project Homeland Development. On September 23, 2019, governing body approved bonds, economic development grants, and a development agreement related to Project Homeland Development at the northwest corner of 43rd Street and K7. January, the Kansas Department of Transportation announced that Shawnee would receive economic development funds to be used towards road improvements. Project agreements with KDOT are required in order to receive reimbursement. There are 2 recommended actions to consider. The first recommended action to consider is approving and authorizing the mayor to sign contract number 2020-016 as approved by the city attorney. Does anyone on the council have any questions? Mr. Jenkins.
Once again, not so much a question as a comment. This is a pretty big deal project we're doing here. We're looking at a potential of up to 2 million square feet of warehousing space and commercial space out there. So this is a big deal. This is the kind of thing we've been looking for a long time. So it's pretty exciting. I'm just wanted to say I'm thrilled that we were able to get KDOT's involvement in this. That's great. We get 3/4 matching funds. That's a wonderful thing. Anytime we can do that, because I think we probably would have wanted to leave this project even if we hadn't. So that was just a big plus. So kudos to everybody that negotiated that and got that to happen. So that's all I have is just comments.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions from the council? Anyone from the audience like to speak to this item? I'll accept a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made, seconded on this item. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Second recommended actions considered is approving and authorizing the mayor to sign contract number 2020-017 as approved by the city attorney. Does anyone on the council have any questions? Anyone from the audience like to speak to this item? Seeing none, I'll accept a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion's been made, seconded on this item. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is miscellaneous items. Item number 1 is to ratify the semi-monthly claims for March 9, 2020, amount of $2,342,296.40. Any discussion from the council? Anyone from the audience like to speak to this item? I'll accept a motion.
Second.
Motion's been made, seconded on this item. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Miscellaneous council items. Does anyone on the council have an item they would like to discuss?
Did Rob bring cake for everybody tonight?
You're coming to the reception, you can have cake there.
That's a no.
All right. Any other miscellaneous council items? Seeing none, I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
Adjourn.
We have 3 motions.
I was going to say, wait a second. Motion's been made, seconded to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. We are adjourned. Thank you.